We have four Asian central banks which are really seeing some kind of meaningful inflation pressure. So that's Australia, India, Korea, and Singapore. So we think these are the central banks which will continue to be taking up more aggressive policy stance. They've already done so. For example, Korea has been one of the first ones and have started quite early. But they still will have to do more because their inflation problem is somewhat more meaningful compared to rest of the region. For instance, in Australia, Korea, and Singapore, we also have tighter labor markets, whereas in India, we just have a very high exposure to commodity prices, particularly oil, and you have seen much more pressures on inflation in India too.
So in terms of interest rates, we all know the argument. It really seeks to bring down demand. But on the supply side, challenges still remain. Do you think more needs to be done?
Yeah, I think so. It's not that the central banks can really manage the supply side, but what they need to do is to ensure that once inflation has been persistently high, they need to ensure that policy rates are normalized to keep inflation expectations in control. Overnight, we heard even Chair Powell talk about that they are watching inflation expectations closely. That's something that's applicable to Asian central banks as well. And in Asia, food and energy are a big part of CPI or headline CPI. So it would not be fair to just look at core. And when you see the headline CPI numbers persisting to be very high above central banks' target levels or comfort zone, they have to take up policy normalization.